Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Elsha Febriani from class 1 regular B. I will have a presentation about genetically modified food. The genetic engineering is one of the great marvels of 21st century humans. It lowered for precise control over the genetic changes introduced into an organism. They are basically biological altered organism. Today, we can incorporate new genes from one species into a completely unrelated through genetic engineering, optimizing agricultural performance or facilitating the production of valuable uh, pharmaceutical substances. In India, GM plants like GM cotton, BT brinjal, and GM mustard are experimented, but the government refused to allow it to be commercialized. Recently, the government of India has examined a proposal on GM mustard said despite there being severe opposition to it among environmental activists. What is meant by genetically modified food? Genetically modified food or GM food are the type of plant whose DNA has been modified through genetic engineering for embedding a new trait to be present which does not occur naturally in this species. What food are genetically modified? Corn, soybean, cotton, canola, alfalfa, sugar beet, papaya, squash, arctic apple, innate potato, aqua bounty salmon. GM food using data around the world and in Indonesia. It has been estimated that upward of 75% of processed food on supermarket shelves, from soda to soup, crackers to condiments, contain genetically engineered ingredients. Up to 92% of US corn is genetically engineered, as are 94% of soybeans and 94% of cotton. Cottonseed oil is often used in food products. Pros and cons about GM food. Benefits: higher yielding, crop more efficient use of land, can save money and promote higher profit. Reduce the use of pesticide and insecticide during farming that make great moves for the betterment of the food supply. With a rapidly increasing population, because it shows dramatically increased yield, can produce more in small area of lands. Rangers save life, less waste. Example, tomatoes from genetically modified seeds stay fresh longer, enhance tasty and quality, and less reduce maturation time. Risks: the possibility of a disturbance in the ecological balance, the formation of resistance to antibiotics. There is a concern that the formation of toxic compounds, allergens, or change in nutritional value. The negative impact on the environment and on health. Basically, there are pros and cons. Some parties still talk about the safety of GM food products, but on the other hand, some parties then any argue that GM food are safe and there is no evidence to suggest that GM food are harmful to human life and the natural sovereignty. But one thing is certain that the monopoly of intellectual property rights on GM food products has has had a negative impact on small communities, especially small farmers. The advantage of GM food outweigh the danger. My opinion about GM food, I think they are getting a lot more discussion than warranted in the US. The fact that we can have preference about how food is grown is genetically engineered. People in other situations, including many in the US, are still focused on the hunger tip. I think the use of the term oversimplifying the very complex set of choices that agriculture and consumer and marketing have has created the perception that difference is something that somehow reflects morality or quality. When that perception is often oversimplified, people who use the food are confused by what consumers are talking about. Okay, thanks so much for the presentation for me. Uh, if her is more or less, I apologize. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.